You to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
From the loveliest village on the plains, Auburn, Alabama, final home game for the Auburn Tigers. And for 16 Auburn seniors, their last game on this field. Jordan-Hare Stadium, a big SEC battle today as Auburn hosts number 5, Texas A&M, riding a 5-game winning streak. Their longest since they joined the SEC in 2012. You're watching ESPN College Football presented by Geico, and this is the SEC on ESPN. Welcome, everybody. Sean McDonough along with Todd Blackledge. Delighted to have you with us. Huge game for Texas A&M, ranked number 5, trying to get into the top 4 and into the college football playoff. They have to win out, and this is a very tough task for them today against an Auburn team that's talented and plays very well at home.
Yeah, and when we talked to the Auburn coaches yesterday, they seem like they really like their chances today. I think for 2 reasons. Number one, in an unusual twist to the schedule, they get to play another regular season game after a disappointing loss to Alabama in the Iron Bowl against another top 5 team. And more importantly, their young quarterback, Bo Nix, by far plays his best football here at home. I like their chances today as well.
Yeah, he's 10-1. His 2 seasons as the starting quarterback for Auburn here at home, 4-6 away. And how about the touchdown to interception ratio? 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception in 11 home games. About 17,000 fans on hand, about 20% of capacity here. Most of the tickets this season have gone to students, and a lot of students are here despite the fact that they're on break. Auburn won the toss and deferred, so Texas A&M will receive the kickoff. It's Chase Lane back for the boot from Anders Carlson, and we're underway. A big college football Saturday. That'll be a touchback. 50 degrees at kickoff. Bright sunshine, light breeze. We had some rain here yesterday. The field might be a little damp. Here comes Kellen Mond, 4-year starter and the all-time leader, Texas A&M in total yardage, in touchdown passes with 68, 28 wins as a starter. Only Corey Pullig has more as the A&M signal caller. He won 33 back in the 90s, 60% for the year, and a great touchdown interception ratio. Coach Jimbo Fisher says he's having by far his best season. They start with the run fake and the toss, and it's Anais Smith who does a little bit of everything for the Aggies, and they pick up 14 on the first play of the game.
Yeah, really, Kellen Mond last week was the first bad game that he had. They had been off for 3 weeks. He was under 35% completions against LSU, did not throw a touchdown, but beyond that, he's really been superb this season.
They threw for a season low 105 last week against LSU, on target to their leading receiver, and he's the tight end, Jalen Weidermeyer. Big, powerful player, as you saw there, at 6'5", 265, and that's a gain of 7.
Mond is very comfortable throwing it to him because he's such a big body, and he uses that body well to catch the ball in tight spaces.
Weidermeyer, former basketball player. Here's the toss to Isaiah Spiller, leading rusher in the SEC. And they're moving very briskly on these first 3 plays. They're to the Auburn 41.
Spiller's a guy that no one really talks about, but he's one of the best backs in the country. He's running behind one of the best offensive lines in the country with 4 seniors. But I love his patience, the ability to wait for the blocks to get set up, and then his ability to bounce the run outside. That's what makes him special.
That's the voice of Todd McShay on the field, as our field analyst Allison Williams also here today. Mond faked it to Spiller, and Anais Smith chopped down on the near side by Christian Tutt. He plays the star position in the secondary. It's a 4-2-5 defensive alignment in the base for Auburn.
Nice play by Tutt. Stop this A&M momentum. That was an RPO. The line was blocking run. That's just a decision that Kellen Mond makes based on numbers to throw it out there. But Tutt made a nice play out in space with the tackle.
Mond, a senior from San Antonio, Texas. 6'3", 217. Like Bo Nix, the Auburn quarterback, he can hurt you with his feet as well. Given plenty of time, Spiller, a short completion, and then he got bounced around by Zacoby McClain and Jordan Peters.
Texas A&M, one of the better teams in college football on third downs. You see the first 6 games. Now last week 2 of 16, but inside those numbers, 10 of their 16 plays on third down, they needed 10 yards or more to convert. So when they stay ahead of the chains like they've done on this possession, they've been really good on third down.
Jimbo Fisher calls the plays. As he said, the problem last week against LSU was on 1st and 2nd down. Here's 3rd and 4. They're on the fringe of field goal range. Play clock down to 2. Auburn brings pressure. Mon got it off. And we'll see where they spot it as Chase Lane circled back short of the line to make, but they're going to give him the 29-yard line and a 1st down.
Well, they had Weidermeyer isolated on the bottom of the screen, and that's where Kellen Mond looked first. He came back to the 3-receiver side, and Chase Lane, who has really kind of started to step up in this pass offense. They've had some issues with injuries to their wide receiver position. Lane's really stepped up for him.
1st and 10 on the delay.
Ball's
Isaiah
out.
Spiller lost the football, and A&M recovers. It was the offensive lineman Carson Green, part of this excellent Maroon Goons offensive line. He's the right tackle.
And he's the right tackle coming all the way to the other side of the field. So you know he's hustling to try to get to the next level to get a block. And that's the thing this offensive line does as well as anybody I've seen. Their ability to get to the next level of blocks. That's why this running game has been so good.
He has more consecutive starts than anybody on the team. Green, senior from Southlake, Texas. Veteran offensive line. The left guard Kenyon Green is a sophomore. The rest of them are seniors. Nice cut by Isaiah Spiller. And he's inside the 15. And it's 1st and 10 for the Aggies.
Here's Carson Green blocking at the point of attack. Here's that right tackle. Watch him get the kick out block on Big Cat. Knocks him completely out of the way. They pull the center, Ryan McCollum, around to lead. And you're seeing this A&M power run.
Spiller, 6 more. And have you seen anything yet from Auburn in terms of the intensity level? You mentioned they played in the Iron Bowl last week. Ordinarily, they're waiting to play either in the SEC championship game or a bowl game, but they have some time. This is a regular season game right after the Iron Bowl.
Yeah, it's very unusual. They felt like they had a great practice on Thursday, but right now the physicality of this offensive front of A&M is the difference.
Very little resistance so far from the Auburn defense. Time-consuming drive. Aggies lead the conference in time of possession, almost 33.5 minutes per game. Mond wrapped up just short of the line to make. Though it was a drubbing at the hands of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, 42-13. We talked to Bo Nix yesterday. He said Gus Malzahn very energetic on the practice field all week. Gus said you have to take it like a man. Alabama whipped them. And he thought, as you said, playing a top 5 team would be a big help here today. This is a big game. And a flag down as they were lining up for this 3rd and less than a yard.
Offense, number 73, 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
A costly mistake. You got great momentum. You're on the road. You're having your way up front. And Jared Hawker, one of those outstanding offensive linemen, a little early movement, and you go from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6.
I think now you've got to somehow make it a run-pass option with Kellen Mond. That's what he does best, is when he's on the move and creating, and he can take off and pick up this touchdown or find an open receiver.
Well, and the guy he's normally going to look for on 3rd down is that tight end, Jalen Weidermeyer. Big body.
3 wide receivers out there as well. Short set by Mond. Corner of the end zone. And it is Weidermeyer for a touchdown.
Beautiful route on the corner route. He moved the defender inside. You can see his pass receiving skills. Take a look at the end of this. Make sure he got 1 foot in. There's the catch. Left foot in, yep.
He completed the catch.
That's a beautiful catch. He high points it, gets the left foot in. And that's where Kellen Mond is most comfortable, particularly in critical situations, red zone or on third down.
They've reviewed it. It is a touchdown. And what an impressive opening drive, more than 6 minutes. 11 plays to go the 75 yards. 70th career touchdown pass for Mond, and the extra point up and good off the foot of Seth Small.
Weidemeyer lined up inside, 3 receivers to that side, but Kellen Mond is looking to his big tight end all the way. One-on-one coverage. Aggies on the board first.
It's V Week on ESPN as we continue Jim Valvano's fight against cancer.
V Week continues on this Auburn football team. A couple of offensive linemen who start are cancer survivors. Allison Williams will tell you more about their story as the afternoon goes along. Nifty opening drive by A&M. Caden Davis, a touchback machine, boots one through the back of the end zone. So here comes Auburn for the first time today, led by the sophomore from Pinson, Alabama. Well, he moved around a lot as a young boy. Bo Nix, 61% completions for the year. 10 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, a threat to run as well. He's run for 283 yards and 4 scores. Started from day one of his career here last year. His 22nd career start. They're 14-7 with him leading the offense. Starts out of the gun and throws it behind his intended receiver, Anthony Schwartz. And let's say hello, good morning, because it is Central Time here, to Allison Williams.
Hey there, Sean. Keeping an eye on running back Tank Bigsby for Auburn. He's dealing with a hip injury from 2 weeks ago that really limited his production last week. I watched him in warm-ups, guys. He seemed fine. He hasn't been out there yet. I'm told he will play, though. He told me he feels good, but Gus said it'll be like last week. They'll just feel it out as the game goes on.
They try to swing it out to Schwartz again, and they're 0 for 2. And passes to their left, intended for Schwartz. That's a big difference, as Gus Malzahn, the coach, says he's a game changer, Bigsby. And he tried valiantly to go last week at Alabama. You could tell that hip was still a problem. They thought he was better in practice this week.
Well, they're a different team with him because of his ability to break tackles. And Auburn, to be good offensively, they have to run. They can't put it all on the throwing and passing of Bo Nix.
They're a run and play action pass team, as Coach Malzahn said. Tough to play action effectively when you can't run. They complete a pass, and how about Sean Shivers lowering his head, trying to get to the first down marker. He's not a big back, just 5'7", 179. He came up about a half yard short, and after some hesitation, here comes the punt team.
Well, football is a game of leverage, and the low man wins. And that time, Shivers was the low man against Miles Jones. Cornerback Miles Jones is 6'4", and he took the worst of that collision.
If you're Gus Malzahn, would you be tempted to go for this?
I think they're reconsidering right now.
Yep, there was a timeout for an injured player, and that gave Gus a little more time, but it looks like the punt unit is going to remain on the field.
What do you have to lose?
I think you punt. It's too early in the game to go for it here. I mean, just play the smart play right here, I think.
Oscar Chapman on the punt. Very high. And a fair catch made by Anias Smith. 41-yard punt. Texas A&M on offense for the second time. The first one ended in a touchdown. Mond to Weidemeyer.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And in part by Burger King. Mix and match your favorites for just $5.
Oh, it's an emotional day. Senior day, last home game for the Auburn seniors. Honored before the game on the field. Of course, it's an unknown for many of the players if they'll be back next year. The extra year of eligibility granted by the NCAA because of the COVID situation. So it's possible we could see some of those gentlemen who were in that picture again next year.
Well, one of the guys that Auburn really misses that was in that picture in street clothes is KJ Britt, one of their inside linebackers, a really good player, physical, especially against this inside running game. There's KJ, hand surgery after the second game, and they miss his physicality and leadership in the middle of this defense.
He had double-digit tackles in those first two games against Kentucky and Georgia. A&M on the offensive side of the ball for the second time, and it's Spiller for about 8. Here's Matt Berry back in the studio. Hello, Matt.
All right, guys, happy college football Saturday. Time now for the AT&T countdown to the CFP. Ohio State without 23 players today due to COVID. 3 offensive line starters. Nonetheless, first drive of the game, Justin Fields touchdown, 7-0 Buckeyes.
Good to see that they're able to play today. Hoping to play this weekend again next week against Michigan to get to the 6 games necessary to play in the Big Ten championship game. Good fake by Mond. Plenty of running room, and he scampers out of bounds just shy of midfield at the 48.
See, Kellen Mond is always a threat to run. He really is not running that much this year, at the most maybe 6 times a game, but he's always a threat. So you have to respect him. That time, Big Cat, he got too caught up looking at the back, and Kellen Mond made a nice read to get the ball outside. Gets out of bounds. He avoids a hit, but it's just a positive yardage play.
I think that's what Kellen does best, is read blocks and run the football. And then when he decides to turn it loose, that's when they become really dangerous offensively.
They look very sharp on offense after the sluggish performance last week against LSU. On target again, Mond, now 6 for 6. That's Weidermeyer again with a first down at the Auburn 40.
Moving the launch point, moving Kellen Mond this time. Weidermeyer dragging across the field, gets separation. And again, uses that big body to just shield defenders. And Kellen Mond very confident in that guy.
We've seen Michael Mayer, the true freshman for Notre Dame. Kyle Pitts for Florida is the best tight end in the country. But I would put Weidermeyer in the discussion for the top 3 tight ends in all of college football.
And just a sophomore. They have another talented tight end, Baylor Cupp, redshirt freshman, who's been hampered by injuries. They think he's just about as talented as Weidermeyer. Mond. Plenty of time and an open receiver. It's Isaiah Spiller again. Pulled down at the 33-yard line, 34, and Jordan Peters was there for the Tigers.
Yeah, much different looking A&M offense right now, Sean. You mentioned it. Last week, after 21 days off, very sluggish. Now, the games before that, they were kind of on a roll offensively. Kellen Mond, the whole offense, they were bad last week against LSU and held to 267 yards, 2 of 16 on third down, but a much different looking start today.
Yeah, they had just 1 offensive touchdown. Now, it was a rainy night in Bryan College Station. Flag thrown. Spiller gets enough for the first down if the play stands. That's thrown where you would expect a holding call.
It's interesting. When we talked to Jimbo Fisher yesterday, we asked him, do you think you might have an advantage or an edge in the trenches? And he said, I hope so. Last year we did not.
Personal foul, shot block, offense number 85 and 65. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
Weidermeyer is improving as a blocker, but this is the problem here. Little engaged by Dan Moore, the tackle, and then the upper hit by Weidermeyer, drew the penalty. But, last year when these teams played, Auburn had that defensive front of Derek Brown, a first-round draft pick with Carolina, Marlon Davidson. They were kind of the dominant group up front. And this year, the advantage really lies with, and it's showing so far with this offensive line of Texas A&M.
That's been the big story of the Auburn season. They've had to totally rebuild both their offensive and defensive lines. 2nd and 19. Against pressure, they set up a screen. Nice call by Jimbo Fisher. And it's Weidermeyer again, back inside the 40 to the 38. They'll need 8 more on this 3rd down with 4:20 to go in the first quarter, and A&M leading 7-0.
Weidermeyer's right here, going to slip him out on the screen. Again, 2nd and 19, you call this play just to get some of the yardage back. You're not really calling it necessarily to get 20 yards, but you give yourself a chance on 3rd down because of an effective play on 2nd and long.
Keep an eye on Ananias Smith, 0. They've got him bunched over on the right side.
Yeah, here he is right here, number 0. Versatile guy.
Big play here early. Play clock down to 1, and they didn't get it off.
Jimbo called timeout. He was aware of the clock. Kellen Mond was not, and they called timeout.
With 3:43 to go, an impressive opening quarter for the Aggies. They're up 7-0 at Auburn. Friends, you can check out the Target Command Center broadcast of this game on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. Look at what you'd be looking at if you went over to ESPN3. Lots of information on the screen for you, and right now all the numbers dramatically in favor of Texas A&M, already leading Auburn 7-0, and looking at 3rd down and 7 at the Auburn 37.
Well, if you're Auburn right now, you got to get coverage on him, and I think you got to pressure Kellen Mond. 8 for 8. He's way too comfortable right now throwing the football.
4 catches by the tight end Weidermeyer, including the touchdown. Four-man rush. Mond steps up, fires into a crowd, and it is incomplete. It looked like it was going to be intercepted, but the defender Nehemiah Pritchett slipped down, and it was very nearly a catch instead for Hezekiah Jones.
Yeah, Pritchett did a great job of being in position.
Holding. Offense, number 65. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains 3rd down.
Don't you decline this?
Absolutely.
Be tempted to. It'd be 4th and 7 at the 37.
I mean, you got to
decline the foul.
There you go.
Yeah.
4th down.
I'm not sure they asked Gus. I think they just assessed the penalty and
Maybe they
assumed
asked
he'd take
Jimbo,
it.
and Jimbo said, yeah, they'll take it. But Nehemiah Pritchett was in great position there, had the sideline as an extra defender, and that was a big stop on 3rd down by this Auburn defense, because they had not stopped very much to this point.
Because of the struggles of the A&M offense last week, Nick Constantino, the redshirt freshman from Melbourne, Australia, punted 12 times. He had 6 inside the 20, as Jimbo Fisher said. He had his wedge game working very well, and here's another good one. Fair catch made by Eli Stove. He'll mark it at the 9-yard line. Well, A&M trying to get in the playoff. They certainly need to win out. They could use some help. It would be helpful to their cause if Notre Dame beats Clemson for the 2nd time, and if Alabama could take care of Florida in the likely SEC championship game matchup, give the Gators a 2nd loss. There's one thing in the Aggies' favor. They have a head-to-head win over Florida. College football semifinals, New Year's Day, starting with the Rose Bowl game at 5 Eastern time. Bo Nix on target. Eli Stove yanked down by Jalen Jones. Couldn't get away, but they got 7 on 1st down.
Well, we still haven't seen Tank Bigsby. We heard the report from Allison that he was feeling better. The coaches thought he'd be better, but for the 2nd possession, it's Sean Shivers on the field.
He looked great in the pregame. He really did.
Nix with plenty of time throws into traffic, and he's lucky he got away with that one. Diving attempt to pick it off by Keldrick Carper.
Yeah, that's a case where Bo Nix was locked into Seth Williams, number 18, the only place his eyes went, and the free safety Keldrick Carper was right on point and just couldn't make the catch.
So now 3rd down and 3.
Got Williams in single coverage. He's a big-bodied receiver, very dependable.
Shaun Shivers with the first Auburn first down of the game as he ran to the 28 before Keldrick Carper tackled him.
A lot of movement in the backfield. You had the jet sweep fake, some eyes in the wrong place by A&M defenders, and a nice opening for Shivers to run for the first down.
Shivers, a junior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A&M crowds the line and nowhere to run for Shivers. Here's Matt Berry in the studio.
All right, guys, giving me a Rocket Mortgage studio update. Checking in on Penn State, taking on Rutgers. Sean Clifford got the start over the middle. Parker Washington, 29-yard touchdown. Nittany Lions up 7-0.
All right.
It's a good
a
start.
little better start.
Yeah, good start for your alma mater. Running wide, Shivers running down the field. Shivers and almost running all the way to the end zone. It was Carper again, who might have been the last line of defense for the Fighting Aggies.
Well, watch Schenker, number 47, with the big block. He seals the corner, and Shivers shows a burst.
29-yard gain. They're back quickly. Shivers again, tackled by Aaron Hansford, senior linebacker. It's an interesting part of that A&M team. He was recruited as a wide receiver. Had trouble getting traction on offense. Injuries a part of that. Last year they needed help on defense. They tried him over there, and Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator, said that he is as athletic as any linebacker he's ever coached. Still really learning how to play the position. But he's been a factor on that very talented Aggie defense. Seth Williams the catch to the 37-yard line.
Again, as Shivers being looked at, kind of limped off the field after that last carry. This is when Auburn's offense moves the best, when they can mix that run in. Plus, with Bo Nix, he's a very capable runner himself. Very quick feet.
So they're down to Mark Anthony Richards, who would be their third-string running back starting today.
False start by Austin Troxell, number 68.
Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Here's Allison Williams.
Guys, I've been keeping an eye on Tank Bigsby. He has been loose, dancing, smiling on the sideline, standing there looking ready to go in with his helmet on, but very telling he is not in right now as Shivers is getting looked at by the athletic trainers. They are taping up his left ankle.
Single coverage on Seth Williams.
Nix fires behind his intended target, but caught by Seth Williams. Todd Blackledge, as usual, on his prediction game today. They're at the 25 and going quickly. First down.
Well, Seth Williams is single coverage on the bottom. 3 receivers to the top. There's no safety over the top. That's where you go.
Now some running room for Richards, but he ran out of it quickly as Buddy Johnson, tackling machine, senior linebacker from Dallas, made the play. That'll be the final play of a fast-moving first quarter. Controlled through most of it by A&M, but Auburn is on the move. 7-0 Aggies in a huge game for Texas A&M. Time now for today's Weekend Wake Up, brought to you by Wendy's Breakfast. This college football Saturday underway. 11 a.m. start here at Auburn. Ohio State up early at Michigan State. Always dangerous Syracuse taking on Notre Dame. That's a little later this afternoon. Florida and Tennessee. Florida could clinch the East with a win in that one in the SEC. All kinds of people moving around there, and it's Shaun Shivers back in the game after getting his left ankle taped to the 20. It's third down and 5.
I would have almost guaranteed that was going to be a run play on that second down because Seth Williams was not on the field. Neither was Anthony Schwartz. So you had other receivers in that were in there to block and not run pass routes. Williams back on the field now to the wide side of the field.
They get pressure. Bo Nix has a man wide open and couldn't complete it. Eli Stove had broken open, but Nix, with pressure coming, was off target.
One of the things that we have talked about with Bo Nix, watch as he sets up. His feet don't stop moving. If he sets his feet, he makes an accurate throw because he's got a wide open receiver. But that's been one of the issues for him with his accuracy, as we see the incompletion from the progressive pylon cam.
It's just 36% on throws that travel beyond 10 yards.
In that one, there's just no reason for it. Just set your feet and drill the ball.
We'll settle for a field goal try from Anders Carlson. And he's on target from 37 yards. So they get 3, but it very easily could have been 7. Down on the field, here's Allison Williams.
Sean, offensive linemen always have a special bond, but Tayshawn Manning and Brodarius Ham have one they never expected to share. Both were members of the 2016 Auburn signing class, and both were diagnosed with cancer as high school seniors. Manning diagnosed with leukemia, Ham Hodgkin's lymphoma. They vividly recounted to me the countless days in the hospital, the grueling months of chemo and radiation, and how they watched these young, strong bodies just get ravaged by the effects of cancer and the treatments. Manning withered away. He dropped 60 pounds in a matter of weeks, struggled just to walk around the hospital halls. Ham said he gained 40 pounds from the steroids, but they battled, they beat their diseases, and they rebuilt themselves into the SEC football players we see out there today. And they both say football was a motivating force to end their fight, and they hope they can provide some hope to others who are watching at home and going through their own battles. Brodarius said, I just want everyone to know that cancer is not the end. They have to have faith, and as someone so famously said, whatever they do, never give up.
Well, it's a remarkable story. They're both starting offensive linemen. And as Allison says, the foundation's fight against cancer has not stopped even during these challenging times. It won't stop. If you're able, please support cancer research. Visit v.org/donate. 100% of what you give goes to cancer research. As Allison said, they were diagnosed in high school, and Gus Malzahn told both, no matter what happens, you will have your scholarship here at Auburn University. And Allison, it's certainly been an up and down time for him since then. More tragedy, unfortunately, but some wonderful news this week.
Yeah, Sean, how special is this? Kalani Grace was born on Sunday, and this comes after Brodarius and his wife Kayla suffered such unimaginable tragedy in February, losing their 3-month-old son. Brodarius was actually told after his cancer treatment he could never have children, so he said, God bless me with 2 beautiful babies, and what a little just shining light in their life with beautiful Kalani Grace.
Big hole and a big gain. It's Devon A-Chain through the middle and out to the 39-yard line with an A&M first down. Again, v.org/donate, because all staff at the V Foundation are paid out of money that has already been given in an endowment to the V Foundation. Every nickel you send goes directly to the cancer research. A-Chain again, and Zacoby McClain knocked him down at the 43-yard line.
Tell you what, Sean, I am very impressed with this offensive line. And we knew coming in they were good. You know, their experience, they're physical. The youngest one, Kenyon Green, the left guard, is probably the best, the most talented. But these guys are all future NFL offensive linemen, and their ability to sustain blocks and work well together, very impressive.
Opening another big hole for A-Chain, and he can really fly. And if Jamian Sherwood didn't get him down, he would have flown to the end zone. He's inside the 25, 1st and 10, Aggies.
See, now here's what I want you to see. Watch the left tackle, Dan Moore and Kenyon Green. Double team, then get to the next level. Pick up the middle linebacker, and that opens up the hole. When you can get to the next level on the front side of the play like that, it opens up big time for the running game.
28 yards for Devon A-Chain. A&M on the move again. They stick with A-Chain. He got walloped at the end of the run, but he got another first down. Smoke Monday made the stop.
This offensive line, as Todd was saying, there are 4 seniors, 3 of which are going to get drafted, including Dan Moore and Carson Green, the offensive tackles. The best player, as Todd also mentioned, is the sophomore Kenyon Green, the number 55, the left guard. And I talked to a scout yesterday just to confirm what I was seeing. He said all 4 of these guys, the seniors, are going to be in NFL camps come next year.
And amazing, how about this, Todd? Last year they gave up 35 sacks in 13 games. So far, in 7 games, only 3 sacks, and 2 of those came in the first game against Vanderbilt.
A-chain, short game that time. Obviously, they do a great job blocking for the run game as well. Jimbo Fisher said that group works collectively in unison as well as any offensive line he's had. They're very intelligent. Same 5 has started every game. That certainly helps.
Really good offensive line coach, too, in Josh Henson. His second year, was a former lineman himself at Oklahoma State, has a great resume. He's done a really nice job with this group.
Out of the pistol on 2nd and 8. Kellen Mond, another wide open receiver. Another first down. It's Jalen Weidermeyer.
See, when you run inside zone, you cut off the backside with the tight end. Here's Weidermeyer. When you run, he cuts it off. Well, now you just fake that run, and you've been running with so much success, you have to honor it. He slips out into the flat. It's an easy throw and catch for Kellen Mond.
A lot of open receivers, a lot of big holes in the running game. Kind of feels like the Aggies should have more than the 7 points they have already. Poised for more, 1st and goal at the Auburn 6. Isaiah Spiller to the 2-yard line.
That's the kind of run that Jimbo Fisher says shows the improvement from last year to this year in Isaiah Spiller. Last year, wanted to make every play a big play, tried to bounce too many things outside. He says, I just want you to take that good, hard 3-yard gain, 4-yard gain.
When that's all that's there, take whatever's there. As he said, 2nd and 10 as a play caller isn't as good as 2nd and 7.
You got this offensive line, 2 tight ends in. I would just ride it right in the middle.
And that's what they tried to do, but Spiller got stood up just as he crossed the line of scrimmage. The true freshman in there in the defensive line, Zykevius Walker leading the way, number 3.
Now I think you keep the ball in Kellen Mond's hands. You give him a run-pass option, maybe just even an option. They do like to run option plays in the red zone, but I let him make the decision with his feet or with his arm on this 3rd down play.
They've been an excellent team when they get down close. Entering today, they've scored 19 times in their last 21 red zone trips, and 15 of those touchdowns. 3rd down and goal. Mond faked it to Spiller. He's running out of time. Just did get it off to Weidermeyer, who gets pulled down just shy of the goal line.
Well, first of all, excellent job by Kellen Mond getting rid of the football. And then an even better play by Smoke Monday. Watch number 21 make a tackle on a big receiver to keep him out of the end zone. Mond gets rid of the football. Now watch the tackle by Monday. Rips him down short of the goal line to force the field goal attempt.
It wasn't a guaranteed field goal attempt. Jimbo Fisher waited quite a while. Now, as you see, the field goal unit just running on. Seth Small is the field goal kicker.
We're going to take a look at this, whether Kellen Mond's knee was down before he threw the football.
I thought it was.
Which would just make a longer field goal attempt.
But probably an easier field goal attempt, just moving it back a little bit from the angle that they're at with the right hash.
The previous play was under review to see if the passer was down prior to throwing the pass.
Yep, looks like the knee was down before the ball is released. Tremendous effort on his part nonetheless.
Well, we'll give you the verdict from the replay official when we come back. The replay booth, with help from the SEC headquarters in Birmingham, confirmed what we saw on the replay. Kellen Mond's knee was down before he released the pass. So they've moved the ball back to the 11-yard line. And as Todd McShay said, the kicker here, Seth Small, might be helped a little bit because distance isn't a problem, and this gives him a little bit better angle. 28-yard try, and he pulled it wide left. So a big stop by the Auburn defense, and a poor kick by Seth Small, who had missed only once all year.
Angle schmangle.
Yeah, that one might have been good if he was closer, because it went left quickly.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna be all right.
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen. And Zaxby's, hand-breaded chicken and fresh ingredients made to order, only at Zaxby's.
Bright, crisp December afternoon here in the loveliest village of the Plains, where Texas A&M has dominated but leads just 7-3. Bo Nix out throwing. Anthony Schwartz runs out to the 25-yard line. Here's Matt Berry.
All right, guys, you know the story by now. Ohio State just 2 games in their last 28 days. Some concerned about rust. To this point, they just look rested. Garrett Wilson from Fields, 14-0 Buckeyes over Michigan State.
Halfway through the second quarter here. Here comes Anthony Schwartz, and I believe Tank Bigsby was on the field for that snap.
We were wondering if we were going to see him. He is on the field. Anthony Schwartz, this is a nifty little play. Bring him in motion, give him a little flip, fake inside to Bigsby, and that opens things up for Schwartz, who is a very dynamic player.
You wonder if Bigsby was just in there to be a decoy, because obviously that was set up the whole way to be Schwartz, and certainly the defense went toward Bigsby, aware that he was in the game. Some more trickery. Nix goes down at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, another trick play. They went wildcat and handed the football off to Nix.
Nix, the son of an Auburn quarterback. That's Patrick Nix in the orange, along with his wife, Bo's mom, Krista. Patrick played quarterback here in the early and mid-90s. Bigsby is back in the game and not a decoy that time. It's a first down. Matter of fact, Patrick Nix's quarterback coach for much of that time was Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, that's right.
Now the Texas A&M head coach. He was a 27-year-old quarterback coach under Terry Bowden. That staff, of course, won its first 20 games when they arrived here in the loveliest village on the Plains. Bo Nix sings one. Beautiful throw. Seth Williams still on his feet and down at the Aggie 26.
This is the difference when Bo Nix sets his feet and delivers. Watch this. Watch the difference in his feet. They're set. He steps. He delivers a strike right on target to Seth Williams. He missed the touchdown to Eli Stove when his feet were drifting to the left.
I mentioned how A&M has really controlled a lot of the game, but if you're an Auburn fan, you have to be thinking, well, wait a minute, we should have 7 instead of 3.
Yep.
They could take the lead on this drive. Here's Bigsby, powerful freshman. Gus Malzahn said to us yesterday he is special good.
Well, here was that play where could have been 7 on the board. He just drifted to his left, missed a wide open receiver. But just the difference for Bo Nix, when he sets his feet, he's a different passer.
SEC Freshman of the Year last year. Takes off running. He's inside the 10 and down near the 5.
Nice read by Bo Nix. He reads that defensive end coming up the field. That's Leal. Cuts it inside, gets a nice block on the perimeter by Seth Williams. Great field position now for Auburn.
He's a tough runner, but he's also really instinctive too.
Why do you think they waited this long? I mean, if Tank Bigsby's ready to go, why did they wait till past the midpoint of the second quarter to get him into the game?
I do not know. Keep an eye on this big guy right here, number 89, this big East.
Tight end at the left. There's Bigsby. Could not get away from Leon O'Neal, the junior safety from Cypress, Texas.
Bigsby's in there, but he still doesn't look completely the way he did prior to the injury of the Tennessee game. That's 2 plays now. He's tried to bounce outside. I mean, when he's at his best, and what makes him special is his ability to run with power and his ability to break tackles. And he doesn't quite look the same as he did earlier in the year.
Now that's what he looked like in the Alabama game last week, the run we just saw, and Gus Malzahn gave him the hook in that game because clearly he wasn't close to 100%. They replaced him with Shivers. Nix under duress, got away. How did he do it? Now he has blockers in front of him. Bo Nix to the goal line. What a touchdown! Now let's make sure it was a touchdown. Did he get in? He certainly did. From the progressive pylon camera, great view.
Well, he's looking for Seth Williams to throw right now. It's not open. Now, how he gets away is just Houdini-like. Beautiful awareness once he gets outside the pocket, picks up a couple blocks, and then extends that football over the plane.
We see a lot of good plays every week, but that was different, man. That was special.
It was supposed to be a quick throw to Seth Williams. That was taken away, and then somehow he avoids the sack and turns it into a touchdown.
Got away from Bobby Brown, who's an outstanding defensive lineman, one of the best in the conference, and powerful at 6'4", 325. Extra point is good by Anders Carlson. When we talked to Jimbo Fisher yesterday, he said Bo Nix is a better athlete than his dad. They're both great competitors. He showed his athleticism here. His 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and somehow Auburn is ahead. It's 10-7. Tigers, 3:36 to go in the half. This is the SEC on ESPN from the campus of Auburn University. Just the 2nd December home game for Auburn ever. They beat Alabama December of 1989. Of course, the season started late due to COVID. Auburn leads 10-7 and a fair catch made by Chase Lane of the Anders Carlson kickoff. Here's Matt Berry.
All right, Sean, I've prepared a special Lexus halftime report for you. Coming up, the Buckeyes back in action. We'll check in on them. Plus, Oklahoma State still trying to stay in the mix in the Big 12 championship race, plus all the early action from the noon Eastern games. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the Lexus halftime report.
It's always special with you, Matt, and your teammates. Bo Nix, scintillating touchdown run to put Auburn on top. Here comes Kellen Mond and the Aggies starting from the 25. And here they go again. They've been moving the ball at will, it seems, but still just the 7 points. Smoke Monday made the stop after a 15-yard pickup.
Well, watch Kenyon Green, this left guard. I mean, he is just so powerful. Again, probably the most talented on this offensive line group. Just takes his man about 7 yards deep into the backfield, and Spiller just running right behind him.
Approaching 3 minutes to go in the half. Lots of time for Kellen Mond, and on target into Auburn territory. A first down. It's Hezekiah Jones.
If you're Jimbo Fisher, you got to be scratching your head saying, everything we're doing is working. My quarterback's 9 for 10. We're gashing with the run game. but we get stopped down by the goal line a couple times, and we're behind on the scoreboard. We're dominating the stats, but we're behind on the scoreboard.
Missed a short field goal. Auburn brings pressure. And Spiller's stuffed by Owen Papo after a short gain. He's an excellent sophomore linebacker who started every game for Auburn since he got here last year.
See, the thing about these two linebackers, though, with Britt being out of the game, Papo is outstanding, very athletic. He's listed at 220 pounds. Jacoby McLean next to him is listed at 211 pounds. They're fast, they can play in space, they make a lot of tackles, but they're a little undersized in a matchup like this. The way A&M likes to run inside and the way their offensive line gets to that second level, it's a real challenge for those two guys.
Von Achane, the running back. A&M using the clock. They have plenty of time. They don't want to leave Auburn time when this possession's over. Achane moving the chains. First down inside the 30.
That time Weidemeyer was the lead blocker. He's the guy that's going to get the block on Papo. Number 0, there's the block. Smoke Monday with a missed tackle from his free safety position. And another gashing run by A&M.
I would love to be a running back in this offense. Behind this offensive line, it's easy.
Minute and a half to go. Mond a strike. Ananias Smith fell down as he tried to cut her. He might have gotten more out of that one.
A lot of room. Ananias Smith is kind of a wild card for this offense. Running back, wide receiver. They can use him in a lot of ways. He's been a big play guy for them.
A little surprised Auburn doesn't start using its timeouts here. Time is not a problem for A&M. Isaiah Spiller, powerful, refusing to give up. The Maroon Goons giving him a shove to help him along, and finally it stopped at the 1-yard line.
Just so much more physical as a runner. I mean, he's going to lower his head on the safety, Jamie and Sherwood, and just keep driving. And you see the Goons trying to give the push from behind. But just Spiller running with so much more violence.
And on 1st and goal, they do not score. Sherwood trips up Spiller. I'm surprised A&M snapped it that fast. They've done such a good job here of using the clock and making sure they don't leave Auburn anything.
This has been the problem.
And down here close. Mond keeps this time, and it's a touchdown.
Well, last week, Kellen Mond made a mistake you don't see a veteran guy make. He stuck the ball out on a quarterback sneak on a 3rd and 1 play. That time he protected the ball, did not go over the top. He's going to go underneath on this one. See how he protects the ball and got it across the plane for the touchdown.
His second rushing touchdown of the season, and it is the 17th time in his career, 17th game, that he's had a rushing and passing touchdown in the same game. Most among the active SEC quarterbacks.
A very impressive drive after falling behind in the ball game. Kellen Mond directing the offense, running and passing right down the field to now take the lead again.
Small adds the extra point. Jimbo Fisher, not only a terrific play caller, but very good at managing the clock in game situations as well. Just 24 seconds left in the half for Auburn. So a big game tonight on ABC. Saturday Night Football presented by Capital One. Clemson at Virginia Tech. A win for the 3rd-ranked Tigers moves them to the ACC championship game in a rematch. One of the great games of this college football season against Notre Dame. There's the Aggies, their fans hoping somebody knocks off Clemson. Makes it possible for the Aggies to move into the top 4. Of course, they have work to be done here today. They've just taken a 14-10 lead. It was Auburn that had the lead after our Liv Moss moment, brought to you by Taco Bell.
Just unbelievable individual effort by Bo Nix, and he's going to pick up a couple blocks at the end of the play by Luke Deal, number 86, and Sean Shivers. But tremendous individual effort by Bo Nix that got Auburn the lead momentarily before that last possession by the Aggies.
Especially a 5-yard touchdown run, but he ran all over the field. Bigsby out to the 33. Auburn has 3 timeouts left.
Looks like they're going to take them with them to the locker room. Yeah. They'll get the ball to start the third quarter, but I agree, Sean. They could have stopped the clock, and even if A&M scores, give themselves a chance here at the end of the half. But Gus Malzahn choosing to take him to the locker room with them and try to start the third quarter with the football and offense.
Well, at the half, 14-10 Auburn, 174 rushing yards in the first half, the most for A&M in 3 years under Jimbo Fisher. Now to the studio for the Lexus halftime report.
Sean, thank you. It is time for the Lexus halftime report. Welcome into Studio Y. At some point, Jesse Palmer will pay attention that we're on live TV.
We're back in Auburn, Alabama, and you're watching ESPN College Football presented by Geico. This is the SEC on ESPN. Regular season winding down. Huge game, particularly for Texas A&M, number 5 in the country, trying to get in the top 4 in the college football playoff. Leading Auburn 14-10 as we head for the second half. Here's today's hardest working player, brought to you by Duluth Trading Company. A lot of players working hard to get the A&M running game going.
Yeah, 174 yards rushing, 3 different running backs. We've talked about the offensive line, but it's also wide receivers and tight ends doing a great job blocking. This is an Aggie team that coming into the game was averaging 185 yards per game. They were almost at that point in the first half. Just outstanding blocking all the way across the board for this A&M offense.
Most rushing yards in the first half in the 3 seasons for Jimbo Fisher as head coach. 174 yards, but just a 4-point lead. And the second half kickoff from Caden Davis is a touchback. So Auburn will have the ball first. And you know, it's really hard when you look at that first half. Right. You know, Auburn fans could feel like their team should be ahead, and the A&M people probably feel like they should be further ahead than they are right now.
Yeah, well, you know, I think we're going to have a good ball game all the way through. I think it's going to be very competitive. You know, for A&M, they talked to us about being good on first down. They were great on first down in that first half. They averaged almost 7 yards a run and 9 yards a pass. As we take a look at Auburn with the ball first here in the third quarter.
Bo Nix comes out with a play-action pass. Now scrambles away from some pressure. Look at him go again. Bo Nix almost got to midfield. He had a spectacular touchdown run in the first half, and that was an electrifying play to the 47-yard line.
Well, DeMarvin Leal, number 8, really did a great job of pressuring the quarterback, but Bo Nix shows his niftiness of foot and turns that into a big play.
22-yard play. He flips it to the speedy Schwartz, world-class sprinter. And he's all the way down inside the Aggie 30.
Second time we've seen this play, the little end around where they flip it to him. And you see that speed when he gets to the edge. He doesn't play every play. He's not on the field every offensive play. When he's out there and he gets the ball, special things happen for Auburn.
He had a career-long 57-yard touchdown run on a reverse last year at Texas A&M. Nix, the handoff fake and a loss of 2 as he got dumped by Buddy Johnson. Here's Allison Williams.
Well, another great play by Bo Nix with his feet here in the second half. And I asked Gus Malzahn about that touchdown in the first half, and he said that's what it takes to beat a top 5 team. You need great players to go out there and make great plays. And speaking of great players, I asked him about Tank Bigsby. He said the running back will be available, and they're going to try and get as much as they can out of him. It's just a matter of how much he has to give.
Sean Shivers at running back now. They give it to him. He has some room, and he's chopped down at the 23. Nice tackle by Leon O'Neal, because there weren't many white shirts left behind him.
Really nice job by the center, Nick Brahms, number 52, in the middle of that offensive line for Auburn. This offensive line had to be completely rebuilt. Brahms was the only real returning starter or guy with a lot of experience. Playing without their starting left tackle, Alec Jackson. Got hurt a couple weeks ago.
He had hand surgery, probably not coming back this year. Austin Troxell, highly recruited, is the left tackle now. Nix pulls it down again, gets the first down, dives head first inside the 18-yard line.
Well, all of a sudden here to start the third quarter, we've seen a more aggressive running Bo Nix.
Listen, Bo Nix is still developing as a passer. He said it, he knows it. And he takes a lot of heat here in Auburn with all the attention on this program. But he is such a great competitor. And just to see it on the field, the toughness that he has, and just the will to pick up first downs and to make the play.
Took a knee in the helmet, was a little slow to get up. Bigsby's back in there. He powers inside the 10 to the 9-yard line.
Nice movement up front. Tayshawn Manning, number 56, with a nice block from his left guard position. Nice straight ahead run that time by Bigsby. Now this time they have Bigsby lined up as a slot receiver, at least as this play begins. There he is, number 4. Now he's back into the backfield.
Nix faked it to him, did not get back to the line of scrimmage. Chad Morris is the play caller. First year as the offensive coordinator here. Most recently the head coach at Arkansas. Prior to that, the head man at SMU, longtime friend of Gus Malzahn. Both have their roots as very successful high school coaches. Morris in Texas and Gus Malzahn in Arkansas.
This is where they like Seth Williams in fade type routes or back shoulder throws, this part of the field.
Third down and 3, opening possession of the second half. Bigsby breaks tackles and gets the first down.
That's what makes this kid special, his ability to break tackles, to throw bodies off of him. This looked like there was no way he was going to make the first down. Not only does he get the first down, he gets it inside the 5.
Leon O'Neal had a chance to stop him, did not. Nix another fake, Nix another touchdown, and Auburn reclaims the lead.
What kind of an effect does Bigsby have on a defense? A big effect. Watch these defenders right here. Their eyes are on number 4. Bo Nix keeps the football, gets a block from his tight end Schenker, and gets in the end zone. Auburn, impressive opening possession to start the third quarter.
2 rushing touchdowns for Nix. Anders Carlson the extra point. Well, Todd McShay said it. The competitiveness of Bo Nix just jumps off the screen as you watch this one from the Progressive Pylon Camp. 17-14, a good one on the Plains.
Teams, 2 semifinals, New Year's Day. The college football playoff lives on ESPN.
Bo Nix, first career game with 2 rushing touchdowns. It was a 9-play drive. 8 of them were rushes as they went 75 yards in 9 plays. Took 4:24 off the clock. Carlson's kickoff is a touchback. And we'll take a look at this week's college football rankings. Brought to you by Capital One. Alabama in action tonight. Notre Dame should be able to handle Syracuse that has 1 win.
Kind of nice to see all those teams other than Cincinnati playing. The last couple of weeks we'd be seeing top 10 teams with games postponed or canceled. Kind of nice to see everybody in action. The Bearcats with the weekend off.
There's one thing working in A&M's favor. They're number 5. They do have a head-to-head win against Florida. And on the first play from scrimmage of the second half for the Aggies, it's Isaiah Spiller to the 29-yard line. But Florida is likely to have a head-to-head opportunity against Alabama.
I think it was huge, though, that the committee put A&M ahead of Florida, because a lot of people, including myself, have thought that Florida has played better recently, but the head-to-head is so important.
Well, and I think, Todd, the other thing is I think most fans, they think of offense, right? And they think of Kyle Trask and the year he's having.
Kyle Pitts.
Right. And they don't realize that A&M maybe is the more complete team. They were that day in College Station, Bryan College Station, and they've been the best defensive team in the league.
Spiller again. He's within a yard of a first down. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Ironically, they become huge Alabama fans. Because if
Alabama knocks off Florida, and it's not a foregone conclusion yet that Florida will be in the title game, nor is it clinched for Alabama in the West, but that matchup seems likely. They hope that Florida gets handed its 2nd loss of the year by Alabama. Christian Tutt makes the tackle, but Mond has run for the first down.
Really great decision by Kellen Mond, because he's looking for Weidermeyer, the tight end. Watch Weidermeyer come in motion. That's where he wants to go with the ball right away. Auburn very clued into that. They had great coverage. Smoke Monday had him covered, and Kellen Mond makes a nice decision to run for the first down.
He's rushed for 15. Spiller is 87. A-Chain 74 yards rushing on just 6 carries. Auburn brought a blitz. The blitzer stopped. It was Smoke Monday, who then ran down Mond from behind. Tyrone Truesdale there as well for Auburn.
Here's Monday. Now this is a run blitz. They're expecting run. They're just trying to get extra bodies in to try to slow down this A&M run game. The reason Monday slowed down, he wanted to make sure Mond wasn't going to bring it out the other side. Once he saw the direction he was going, he was able to help on the tackle.
Monday had a rough game at Alabama. They got beat deep on some passes. He missed some tackles, but Kevin Steele told us he was playing with a very sore rib cage, injured early in that game while he was covering a punt. Pass over the middle, knocked the hat off the head of the umpire. Russ Pulley.
I thought A&M was supposed to have the 12th man. Auburn's got the 12th man on this play, and it's the umpire. Going for Hezekiah Jones in the middle of the field.
Instead of Hezekiah, it was Hezekiah Russ Pulley. Thankfully, he's okay. And here's 3rd down and 8.
A&M 3 of 5 on 3rd downs. One of the best teams in the country.
5th best. As you said earlier, they were number 1 on 3rd down nationally before the 2 for 16 last week against LSU. Here comes pressure. Mond escapes. Throws on the run, and it's batted away. Nice defensive play by Roger McCreary.
And right now, Jimbo Fisher's telling Kellen Mond, just run that. If you run it, you're going to pick up the first down. He does a great job of escaping pressure. Auburn brought a blitz. Free rusher. He gets outside. Now, right now, just run it. Make the first down with your legs instead of trying to throw that ball rolling to your left against tight coverage.
And Jimbo's right. And one thing I'll say about Kellen Mond is he takes to hard coaching. He's been used to it all his life. He grew up in a military family. And Jimbo can be a tough coach to deal with, but he's grown up a lot, and there's not a lot of the back and forth that there used to be. But you're right, he has to run that ball and pick up the first down. And I bet you Kellen Mond right now knows it.
Nick Constantinu. This punt is handled by Eli Stove with a fair catch. "36-yard punt.
ESPN College Football, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Ford. Built Ford proud.
Back here at Jordan-Hare, where Auburn has a 3-point lead over Texas A&M, the 5th-ranked team in the country. And we know the first part of pulling off an upset is believing you can pull off the upset. And we got the sense yesterday in talking to the Tigers, they truly believe they have what it takes to beat the 5th-ranked Aggies. And that belief has only grown throughout this game. There has been a buzz on the sideline. And when Auburn just reclaimed the lead, they were all yelling, we are going to do something special out here today. We know how good Bo Nix is at home, 10-1 as a starter at home, and they are starting to gain that momentum here in this game.
Well, it was the running of Bo Nix to start the third quarter that really kind of got everybody fired up.
Nix handed it off to Sean Shivers around the right end. And out near the 25-yard line, Leon O'Neal made the tackle. Now some tempers flaring.
Tell you what, Sean Shivers has played well today. I mean, you know, we expected to see a lot more of Tank Bigsby. We've not seen a lot of him, although the last time he was on the field was about the best we've seen. But Shivers has played well.
He's brought a lot of energy, too.
Yes.
It's just hard to understand their usage of Bigsby. I mean, if he's good enough to go, maybe they just want to use him in certain situations. Nix got it off before the rush got to him. Eli Stove managed to get enough through the tackle of Buddy Johnson to pick up the first down.
One of the things that I think that Chad Morris has really brought to this offense, he's been very creative, and they're distributing the football. I mean, Bigsby's back on the field now, now he's coming off, but they are getting the ball to a lot of different people. And I think that's part of the imprint of Chad Morris on this offense.
1st and 10. Here comes a blitz from A&M. Buddy Johnson through the middle. Now he's trying to run down Shivers from behind. And Sean tripped up as he crossed the 45-yard line.
Well, Buddy Johnson can really run, and he's in pursuit along with Leal. And Shivers does a nice job of just outrunning him because both those guys can run. They're both athletic. Shivers gets to the edge and turns it into a positive game.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
.6:27 to go, third quarter. Bobby Brown, the injured player for A&M. Well, for much of Gus Malzahn's 8 years as head coach at Auburn, he's been the play caller as well. He told us yesterday, I've handed the offense over to Chad Morris. He is the play caller, and we saw that during this timeout. That's Morris surrounded by the offense while Gus Malzahn was on the sideline 20 or 30 yards away. Here's Tank Bigsby. Where has he been?
Resting.
And well rested, he runs all the way to the 11-yard line.
Great blocking on the left side. Austin Troxell, the new left tackle, with a block at the point of attack. And then watch the cut. Puts the left foot in the ground, back to the inside, breaks a tackle. Fresh legs for Tank Bigsby.
Think about this program. Go back to Bo Jackson, Fred Beasley, Heath Evans, Rudy Johnson, Cadillac Williams, who's the running back coach now. It has been a pipeline of great talent. Bigsby's the next one.
Yep.
42-yard run, just his 7th carry of the day. His 8th. He drags defenders inside the 10-yard line. Well, his running back coach, pretty fair running back here, Cadillac Williams, on his first year on the Auburn staff, is coaching for the IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida.
I think he's a guy a young running back would listen to if you're
Absolutely.
in the meeting room with them, right? Former first-round pick of the Tampa Bay Bucks out of Auburn.
Bo Nix on 2nd and 8, short throw, hoping for run after the catch, and didn't get much of it from Kobe Hudson. His first touch of the day. They're at the 7-yard line. And here's 3rd down. They could pick up another first down at the 1.
Bigsby tried to check himself in, and Cadillac said, no, not yet. Not this time.
So I think if you're Bo Nix here, your team's got momentum. All right, so a play is going to be called for you to have a chance to get a touchdown or a first down. If it's not there, throw the ball away. Don't take a bad play. Put more points on the board with a field goal.
Maybe the opportunity for him to run or pass. Straight pass, and his throw too high. Trying to get it to Brandon Frazier, a tight end. Aaron Hansford, the linebacker, had the coverage, so it was a nice drive for Auburn. They went 72 yards in 7 plays, took 3.5 off the clock, but it'll end with a field goal try of 24 yards from Anders Carlson.
Thought they'd get the matchup there with Frazier. He didn't have a catch on the year, but he was out there against a linebacker, but Hansford in great position.
Chip shot for Carlson, and it's good. Well, the brothers Carlson, his brother Daniel had a terrific career as the place kicker here and is now kicking for John Gruden and the Las Vegas Raiders. They're on their way to becoming the highest scoring kicking brother tandem in college football history. They're going to pass the Aguayos of Florida State, Drew and Chris Brown, who both kicked at Nebraska. Time? Well, I should have left that for the Affleck trivia question. I don't think you would have gotten it. I know you're going to get this because I know you and McShay and Allison Williams all cheated last night. Actually, Allison, because she prepares, knew the answer and told you guys, we want to know the given names for Tank Bigsby, Big Cat Brian, and Smoke Monday. Tank's nickname given to him by family members when he was young because he liked to run everything over like a tank, and that has stayed with him.
Yes.
Through adolescence and into adulthood. His given name, Cartavius. Big Cat Brian is Marcavius, and Smoke Monday is Quindarius. As announcers, we like that they go by the nicknames.
Yes, much easier.
It's tough to beat Smoke Monday, though.
Smoke Monday is a very cool
That's
name.
got to be top 3 in college football.
And Tank is the perfect nickname for this tough running back. Carlson's kickoff, touchback. Fair catch made by Lane. He was in the end zone. There's Smoke Monday.
He's had a really good year. As you mentioned, he got banged up on the very first punt return last week against Alabama, injured his ribs. He didn't play as physical as he had been playing the rest of the year, but he looks good today. He's been one of the leaders in the back end of this defense.
So A&M in a must-win game if they're going to be a part of the college football playoff, which starts with the semifinals on New Year's Day. Down by 6, and a hard hit by Derek Hall on Isaiah Spiller.
You know, the way that A&M has been able to run the football today, they're at 195 yards now. I would expect Jimbo Fisher to call something play action where they take a shot down the field. Kellen Mond has really not aired it out at all in this ball game. A lot of short, medium range passes, but that play action should set up something down the field.
Anais Smith, sophomore from Missouri City, Texas. Versatile player. Second leading rusher, second leading receiver. They can line him up as a receiver or as a running back. They've needed a more receiver. Their best receiver coming back, Jamon Osborne, opted out before the year began. He had 66 catches last year. They lost Caleb Chapman, who was one of the heroes of their win over Florida after 3 games with an ACL. Cameron Buckley, injured in the preseason. He would have been a big part of their receiver rotation. So they've done a remarkable job throwing the ball without 3 of their best wide receivers. Spiller, the ball carrier. They say it is a first down. Daquan Newkirk made the stop for the Tigers.
The guy I think that they can get a big play with is Chase Lane. That's him up here, number 2. Weidemeyer, he works the middle of the field. Kellen Mond very comfortable with him. Chase Lane is the guy that can get something down the field.
Mond, after nice Execution of that fake. His pass is incomplete. Spiller was open.
Well, Spiller was open, but Chase Lane was wide open for an even bigger play if Kellen Mond would have looked at him. Here's Chase Lane. Watch him run the post route. He's going to be open for a big play down the middle.
Todd, he had 3 yards on him. I mean, that was going to be easy money.
That's one Kellen Mond's going to wish he had back when he studies the film tomorrow.
Well, to your point, too, this is a cover 1 defense primarily, meaning it's man-to-man with 1 free safety. You look off this free safety and you get some shots down the field.
Nice run.
Good decision to keep it by Mond. He's across midfield, scampers out of bounds at the Auburn 48-yard line. We're down to 2:18 to go in the third quarter.
Just a straight little lead option. You're going to option the end man. And he gets Christian Tutt kind of in that bind. Tutt takes 1 step towards the pitch man, and Kellen Mond keeps the football. I would go back to that one-on-one situation if they can get it with Chase Lane. Again, you're right, Todd. A lot of man coverage leaves opportunities for one-on-ones outside.
3 receivers to Mond's left. And they run to the right. Devon A-Chain. Boy, every time they've given it to him today, something good has happened. Taken down by Jalen Simpson. It's another A&M first down.
Just a really impressive run game again today. They weren't able to run the way they've been used to last week against LSU. They didn't throw well last week. But this combination of Spiller and A-Chain and Anaya Smith occasionally, very impressive.
89 yards, the career high. He had 125 all season entering today. True freshman out of Missouri City, Texas. With great speed. Trying to get him in the open field again. Derek Hall wrestled him down at the 29-yard line, and we're under a minute to go in the third quarter.
You keep Spiller fresh in the fourth quarter. You bring him back out. He's your more physical runner. Saw them do the same thing to Florida, really commit to the running game in the third quarter, even when they were down on the scoreboard. Kind of like body blows by a boxer. You take the legs out of that defense, and then you get to control the game in the fourth quarter.
Auburn has struggled lately to stop the run, and that's been the case again today, and it's the case on this play. A-Chain saying, I'm not just a speedster, I can run with power as well at 5'9", 185, and he's down just shy of the 10-yard line.
Well, nice job by Weidemeyer getting a block downfield, staying on his man. That's been the impressive thing with Weidemeyer. We knew what he was like as a receiver, but he's gotten much better at the point of attack as a blocker.
Apparently there's a flag down on the play that we didn't see.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense, number 54. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains second down.
Well, they were called for a chop block in the first half, and Jimbo Fisher in the half told Allison Williams he didn't like that call.
Well, there it is, number 54, the right tackle, Carson Green. Again, one of the best things they do defensive or offensively with this line is cut off backside defenders. That block a little low by Carson Green, kind of out of that box where you're allowed to make that play. There are certain points on the field where you're allowed to chop, make that kind of a cut block, but that was out of the box.
Well, it's a huge penalty. Instead of 1st and 10 on the 11, they're back at the 38. And that's where they'll begin the fourth quarter.
That is the end of the third quarter.
Very entertaining game here at Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. On to the fourth quarter we go. You're watching ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to the university's general scholarship fund. Thank you, Allstate. Well, here's a fan who is certainly heeding the guidance from the CDC, social distancing, wearing a mask. Among the 17,000 fans spread out at Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Second down and 14 here, Sean. Last time A&M was in a similar situation, 2nd and 19, they ran a tight end screen just to try to get back to a manageable 3rd down situation. Let's see what Jimbo has called on this one.
Evan Achane, the hot hand, remains the running back. 4-man rush at Kellen Mond. They dump it to Achane over the middle. And he's down at the 35. They are in field goal range. Be about 52 from here.
Well, that was a great play by Papo because that was a middle screen. The same idea, but he cut underneath the block and made a great play.
Jimbo said that Caden Davis, who's not their normal kicker, Seth Small is, could go from 54. So clearly they just want to go for it here.
Try to get the first down on 3rd and 11. They don't get all of the 11, at least make it a more manageable field goal situation where maybe they could use their regular kicker, Seth Small. Mond felt pressure from behind, on target, and a diving catch made for a first down by Chase Lane at the 20-yard line.
Really nice catch by Lane going down low. This is another one where Kellen Mond probably could have run and maybe got the first down. Tough throw across his body, but an excellent effort going down low by Chase Lane to get his arms underneath the football.
And I was the only one in the building who thought that was 4th down.
They may want to take a look at this one.
Yeah, the
Sean.
crowd is booing because they think it wasn't a catch.
It looked a little bit like that ball bounced on the ground.
The replay booth is not stopping the action, so on we go. Mond down the seam, deflected and caught for a touchdown. Weidemeyer has it after it looked like it was going to be intercepted by a disconsolate Zacoby McClain.
Mond looking for his favorite target. Doesn't get the ball quite high enough. McClain gets both hands on it, but Weidemeyer there to catch the deflection.
And McClain did everything right. He read the quarterback's eyes. He was in position. He just didn't make the play on the ball.
2 interesting plays in a row that go against Auburn.
A low extra point is good by Seth Small. McClain, junior linebacker from Valdosta, Georgia, does have 1 career interception and should have had his 2nd.
Here's the catch by Chase Lane. Did this ball hit the ground and bounce back up into the receiver? A little hard to say. And then right after that, a near interception turns into an Aggie touchdown.
This is the SEC on ESPN. A beautiful early December day in Auburn, Alabama. Just had our 4th lead change of this game. Texas A&M with its 3rd 75-yard touchdown run of the day. A touchdown drive of the day, rather. It has taken a 21-20 lead. Eli Stove bringing the kickoff back, and he nearly broke it down at the 32-yard line. Here's today's More Driven Moment, brought to you by Goodyear.
Well, Bo Nix has really inspired this offense with his nifty running ability. 8 carries, 59 yards, and a pair of touchdowns. This one spectacular in the first half, but he started the 3rd quarter with another elusive run, and just his competitiveness and his fire and his willingness to run has made a huge difference and is the reason why Auburn is right in this football game. That was his 2nd touchdown run in the 2nd half.
On first down, Shivers forced to cut it back, and he's down for a loss of a yard. Well played by Keldrick Carper. A&M's had 3 75-yard touchdown drives. Auburn has had long drives all day long as well. They've had 4 drives in which they've moved the ball 70 yards or more. They've had a couple where they've settled for field goals. Nix couldn't find anybody deep. Gets ahead for a couple. It'll be 3rd down and a long 8. Jaden Peavy, Tyreek Johnson made the play for the A&M defense.
It just has not felt like there's been many 3 and outs in this football game, that's for sure. A&M with a great situation here with Auburn backed up 3rd and long. This is not really the wheelhouse for Bo Nix or for Auburn's offense. They're not really built ideally for 3rd down and long situations.
Not many teams are. 12:15 and the clock running. Here comes Schwartz to give them 3 receivers on the right. Nix throws it to the left for a back shoulder. And it didn't look like the receiver was ready for the arrival of the ball. Zevian Capers wasn't looking for it with Miles Jones in coverage.
Now, Miles Jones was all over him in perfect position. Again, a veteran corner, you use that sideline to your advantage. You just keep pushing that receiver to the sideline and it forces a perfect throw. But you're right, Capers wasn't looking.
Number 0 is reporting as number 19.
And the second you see that receiver start to look back, that's when you get your head turned around. Really great coverage on the outside.
Nias Smith changes uniform numbers. Miles Jones is also on the punt return team, so he throws on 19 very quickly. That is Nias Smith. More football action in 10 seconds. Well, quick change for Nias Smith. Back.
Number 19 for Texas A&M is now reporting at 0.
Yeah, you had to put 19 on to return the punt. He's important part of their offense. It's like watching a pit stop in NASCAR.
Or Superman in the phone booth.
After a 3-and-out for Auburn, just the second of the day for the Tigers. A 45-yard punt. A&M with the ball and a lead. And a tough run by Isaiah Spiller. He gets 11 and a first down. Here's Matt Berry.
Guys, good back and forth game between Oklahoma State and TCU. Pokes were once up 16-0. Then Max Duggan, 42 yards. Teach me how to Duggan. They just added another one. TCU up 21-16.
With the run by Spiller, he's over 100 yards rushing for the 5th time in the last 6 games. They stick with him, and he gets knocked back short of the line of scrimmage. Tyrone Truesdell, Jimbo Fisher said he thinks is the best player in that front 4 for Auburn's defense, made the stop. That's 10 career games now with 100+ for the sophomore from Spring, Texas. They've won the first 9 when Isaiah Spiller has rushed for 100. He was tremendous in their big win over Florida. 27 carries, 174 yards, and 2 TDs in their 41-38 victory over the Gators. Kellen Mond called a culture-changing victory. They haven't lost since that game. Weidermeyer, another first down. He's across the 45, pulled down by Smoke Monday.
You put him in the slot, and he becomes like a big wide receiver. He's a good route runner. He pushes to the inside on Monday. It's hard to play man-to-man from off coverage against a guy that big. Can't get your hands on him, can't get your body on him, and that's an easy throw for Kellen Mond.
And I love the fact that he transitions upfield so quickly after the catch.
His 7th catch of the day, 39 for the year, leading all SEC tight ends. Option, Mond keeps it, good idea, first down, 41-yard line of Auburn.
Great block there by Carson Green, the right tackle. He's battled some injuries this year, but you see, he's the guy that seals off the edge and allows that run to be as productive as it was.
A&M 267 yards rushing now, and really going to try to impose their will on this defensive front of Auburn here in the final 9.5 minutes.
Auburn the previous 2 games had given up more than 5 yards per rush to the opponents and getting gashed again today. Mond kept it that time and got whacked by Zacoby McClain. probably still kicking himself that he didn't have that interception. That was a huge play moments ago.
Todd alluded to it earlier. They've got to take a shot deep at some point. This is a cover one defense, a lot of man-to-man with one free safety in the middle. All these corners are squatting, meaning they're only giving up 3 or 4 yards because they know everything is a short game. At some point, you got to take a shot vertically.
And see, now this time Monday is up on Weidemeyer. You've got to try to get a body, some hands on him at the line of scrimmage.
Play clock at 2. 2nd and 11. They do throw a deep ball to an open man. Caught! Smith inside the 5-yard line.
When you run a fade from the slot, you've got a lot of field to work with. Little stutter step, that froze Christian Tutt. And Kellen Mond found Aniyah Smith for the big throw down the field. The first big throw down the field all day by Kellen Mond.
For 38 yards to give them 1st and goal, and Christian Tutt, the injured Auburn player. 8.5 to go. A&M up by 1 and poised to score again.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And in part by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen.
Sean McDonough, Todd Blackledge, Todd McShay, Allison Williams, our producer Josh Hoffman, our director Scott Johnson, our terrific crew. Delighted to have you with us. Very exciting game here. A&M, number 5 in the country, must-win situation with an eye toward the college football playoff, which begins on New Year's Day with the national semifinals. Leading by 1, looking at 1st and goal. Christian Tutt walked off the field slowly. True freshman Ladarius Tennyson, number 13, has taken his place in the Auburn secondary. 1st and goal from the 4.
This is where you see the versatility of Aniyah Smith. See, he's lined up as the deep tailback now to start this play.
Don't see much I formation from Texas A&M. Spiller leading the way. Aniyah Smith has the touchdown.
Isaiah Spiller becomes fullback on that play. I'm sure he's not used to doing that easy either, but watch the left side of the line and the lead block by Isaiah Spiller. And Aniyah Smith just falls in right behind him for the power touchdown for A&M.
Well, you've talked about it, as has Todd McShay, all day. That offensive line is terrific.
Yep. Left guard Kenyon Green is really special.
And here's Small to give them an 8-point lead. And as their 4th touchdown drive of 75 yards or more. Aniyah Smith, who does it all for Texas A&M with the touchdown.
Look at Bo Nix out there congratulating everybody.
Tuesday at 7 on ESPN and the ESPN app. The next exclusive reveal of the college football playoff top 25 rankings. Reese and the guys will break it down top to bottom, have coaches' reactions, a live interview with committee chairman Gary Barta. Thursday we'll have our latest episode of True South with John T. Edge traveling around Brownsville, Tennessee, the home of 2 visionary restaurants. True South, Thursday 7:30 Eastern on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. We've seen the good Kellen Mond today.
Yes.
He's been much more consistent as a senior, and he's been outstanding. And now it's on Bo Nix to respond. First national semifinal from the Rose Bowl, 5 Eastern time on New Year's Day. That's as it should be. These playoff games should be on New Year's Day. That's a college football day.
Well, you know, the very first year of the college football playoff, that's what it was. It was a Sugar Bowl early and the Rose Bowl on January 1st. It was a great way to start the playoffs. And we'll be back at it again that way this year.
I can't wait, man. You know, we had no idea if that was going to happen.
Caden Davis, the touchback. Nix starts from the 25 after we check in with Matt.
All right, guys, check it in now on Ohio State, Michigan State. Trey Sermon, the Oklahoma transfer, goes 64 yards for the score, the longest touchdown run of his career. However, Michigan State just scored. It's still all Buckeyes, 35-7. Sean?
Well, not only was it important for the Buckeyes to play the game, they need to play more games. I think important that they be impressive in doing it too. They haven't been as dominant as some thought they would be this season. Tank Bigsby gets the call on first down for Auburn and gets 2.
Yeah. Well, off to a good start today. I think if you're Auburn right now, Sean, the guy that has to step up for you is Seth Williams. I mean, he is your best receiver. He's the guy that's been your most consistent playmaker over the last couple years. Only 3 catches for 31 yards. He's got to step up in this situation for Bo Nix.
Almost midway through the 4th quarter now. Nix under duress. There's also a flag down where you'd expect a holding call. He was chased out of bounds with a loss of a couple. I think it was Tayshawn Manning, the left guard, who's probably going to be flagged for the hold.
Holding. Offense, number 56. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 9th down.
I think this is really good by Mike Elko, the defensive coordinator. There's the hold on Manning to the left side, but when Bo Nix is flushed out of the pocket to his right, he's very comfortable throwing the football down the field. When he goes to his left, he's more likely to run than he is to throw. And I think that time they were designed to force him to the left.
Here's one of the best in the business, Mike Elko, with Jimbo for all 3 years at Texas A&M. They had not worked together, but Fisher was very impressed with Elko when they coached against each other when Elko was the defensive coordinator at Wake Forest back in Jimbo's Florida State days. Fisher turned down the penalty, took the down because it was a loss of 2.
I would pressure Bo Nix again and play man-to-man. See if they can create some separation.
Nix checks it down. Shivers gets rocked and cannot bounce away. Miles Jones there for A&M, and this is going to be 2 straight 3-and-outs at the worst possible time for Auburn.
Timeout for an injured player.
It's Brodarius Ham, who's been fighting through some knee injuries in recent weeks, in pain again. Tonight, 7:30 Eastern Time on ABC and the ESPN app. Clemson against Virginia Tech. The Tigers have won the last 5 head-to-head with the Hokies. If they beat them for the 6th straight time, they'll advance to the ACC title game for a rematch with Notre Dame. There's Oscar Chapman to punt. Had a good one. And a fair catch made by Anais Smith. So obviously Miles Jones wasn't on the punt return team that time because Anais didn't have to change his uniform.
Auburn right in the football game, but a couple miscues, couple almost. Could have been a touchdown there to Eli Stove, a little bit of the overthrow, and then on the other side of the ball, Zacoby McClain with a sure interception that resulted in a touchdown for Texas A&M.
And they're so good at managing the clock. A&M already has a advantage of 11 minutes, 5 seconds in time of possession. And you know, Jimbo will try to use as much of the clock as he can. Isaiah Spiller, a short gain. Zacoby McClain, the tackle.
The key for A&M today has been their success running the football on first down. I mean, they have run it primarily on first down, and they've averaged close to 6.5 yards per play on first down, and that just allows them to just stay on schedule throughout the game.
Behind those Maroon Goons, as they're affectionately known, the offensive line, Texas A&M a season high 271 yards rushing. They had 264 in their win at South Carolina on November 7th. 6 minutes to go. Four-man rush. They don't affect Mond. He dumps it off short, incomplete for Jalen Weidemeyer with Jamie and Sherwood there to break it up.
Clock should not be going. That should have stopped on the incomplete pass right away. Just a little drag route. And, Weidemeyer has been the target. Nice clean hit by Jamie and Sherwood. Knocks the ball loose.
Weidemeyer slow to get up after that hit by Sherwood. Big third down play upcoming for A&M, up by 8 with 5:48 to go. Back on the campus of Auburn University on a beautiful December afternoon. Temperature in the low 50s. Texas A&M must win with an eye toward the college football playoff. We'll have Jalen Weidemeyer on the sidelines for this third down play. Their favorite target. He was injured on the last play. Tom McShay tells us just had the wind knocked out of him, but he's not in on 3rd and 8.
So that means Anais Smith is really the guy to focus on if A&M decides to throw here.
They're dancing around like they might blitz. They don't do it much. And they rush just 4. Mond steps up, has some running room, has the first down. Big play by Mond, who with that run makes history. He goes over 1,500 career rushing yards.
Just a great decision. The kind of decision you expect from a guy who has played and started and won as many games as Kellen Mond. A critical run for a first down to keep the drive alive.
And Jimbo Fisher's been asking him to do it all day long.
13-yard gain. He joins Tim Tebow with Weidemeyer back in the game, and Dak Prescott is the only quarterbacks in SEC history with 9,000 career passing yards and 1,500 rushing yards. Spiller yanked down by Jordan Peters.
Pretty good company.
It sure is. There are the numbers for Tebow at Florida and for Dak at Mississippi State. And now Kellen Mond, who's really number 1 in almost every category for quarterbacks at Texas A&M. It's not just Texas A&M now. He's among the elite.
That's right.
And here with those two.
Doing a great job of using all of the play clock right now, too.
Short pass, Weidemeyer chopped down at midfield by Zacoby McClain. That's his career high 15th tackle. I think the thing he'll remember most is the non-interception.
Yeah, this one here was almost intercepted. I mean, Weidemeyer, that was the freshman Ladarius Tennyson, who was kind of in a position to get a hand on the ball. Weidemeyer came away with the catch.
And if your Gus Malzahn, you need to start thinking about the timeouts, don't you?
Yeah, you do, unless you get a stop right here. Or even then, you may want to stop it and bring up the punt situation, but you got to get a stop here regardless.
6 out of 9 the Aggies today on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 4. Again, just a 4-man rush. And Mond is on target again. Anais Smith, first down with a couple of yards to spare at the Auburn 44.
Had him in a stacked formation with Weidemeyer. That's a good combination. You have your two best receivers stacked together. It's very hard to get press coverage, kind of read what they're doing. Anais Smith finds the first down marker, and Mond gets him the football quickly. Nice awareness of what he needed first down wise by Anais Smith.
Auburn electing not to use the timeout here. And A&M wisely using almost all the play clock. Smith down to the 40-yard line.
There's a timeout. There's the first one by Gus.
First charge time out of the half. Auburn. 30 seconds.
I mentioned Kellen Mond last week, the worst game of his season, one of the worst of his career, but today he has been very sharp. 18 of 23 throwing the football. He's had timely runs. Hasn't run a lot, but he's been effective when he has run. Jalen Weidemeyer, his tight end, his #1 target, as well as Anais Smith. This is the touchdown he threw to Weidemeyer to open the game. And he opened the scoring. That was the lucky one that he got Weidemeyer his second touchdown. But Kellen Mond he's played very solid. I mean, he has played like a vet.
But if that's picked off and the situation isn't as it is right now, there are a lot of the great Aggie fans back there saying, well, here we go again with Kellen Mond, the inconsistency. He's had an excellent year. Sometimes you need to be lucky along the way. He was there.
Yep.
It's good to see, too, because Kellen Mond has worked so hard to improve his game. And, yeah, he's not perfect as a passer. He's got a lot of room to improve. He's invited to the Senior Bowl. He's accepted that invitation. He's going to try to make it in the NFL. But what he's doing today is competing and doing whatever he has to do to pick up first downs and keep the ball moving.
And to keep his team right where they want to be at the number 5 ranking.
You keep it on the ground. Spiller, first down and much more to the 25-yard line. And a little woofing. The last thing A&M needs here, some sort of unsportsmanlike foul. They have the game in their grasp now.
Well, we talked about this offensive line. Watch Kenyon Green again. I mean, he's just got a little nastiness to him, too. He's going to pull around. He's going to get Big Cat and just kind of muscle him to the inside, take him completely out of the play. It's the physicality of this A&M offensive line that's been the difference today, as they are over 300 yards rushing now for the afternoon.
Up to 3:06. They let the
First charge time
play
of the
clock
half.
run all the way down.
Texas A&M.
And then call the timeout. Well, Jimbo Fisher, national championship winning coach at Florida State. It didn't end well there for him, but Texas A&M hired him because they want to win national championships. He believes they've gotten better every year. Here they are in year 3. Most of the people making the big plays are young.
Yep.
Mond, the notable exception. But is this a team that's good enough to win the national championship this year?
I'm impressed. I really do. I think they've got the strength in the trenches, and I think that's really what you have to be a championship team. I think they are capable of playing with those other teams. Now, their one loss was to Alabama. It was kind of a lopsided loss. Gave up some big plays. I think they've gotten better in the back end of their defense since then. But they moved the ball. They gained a lot of yards against Alabama in that football game. They just gave up some big explosive plays. But I think Jimbo's team's gotten better and better.
And I think after not looking particularly impressive last week against an LSU defense in particular that had struggled most of the year, they needed not only to win today, but to play well, look good doing it, and they are. 1st and 10. Ananias Smith squirts down to the 20-yard line. You would think Malzahn would use his second timeout here, and he does.
Second charge time out of the half. Auburn. 30-second timeout.
Well, we have talked from start to finish about the offensive line. Front side, back side, they work well together. A lot of inside runs, and it's really their ability to not only get to the second level on the play side, but to cut off defenders on the backside. That's what opens up so much running game for Texas A&M. I've been very, very impressed, not just today, but watching them on film coming into this ball game of how well they've played. And again, when you get to this point in the year, Sean, and your offensive line, the same 5 guys start every game and they're healthy, that is a huge advantage as you try to make a big push towards the end of the year.
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the game the advantage that Jimbo Fisher felt they had was along the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. You know, they have veterans on the offensive and defensive line. Auburn does not. You know, Auburn's been content to rush with 4 most of the day and have done very little to impact Kellen Mond when he has dropped back to pass. 2nd and 5. Auburn in desperate need of a stop. Ananias Smith to the 18-yard line. That'll be the last Tiger timeout with 2:02 to go.
And that advantage in the trenches is really what Auburn had the last couple of years. You know, and Auburn has won this game the last 3 years in a row. So A&M trying to change that in terms of their series.
Well, was a veteran offensive line last year for Auburn. And we mentioned Brown and Davidson, high draft choices on the defensive line off the Auburn team of a year ago, now in the NFL. Gus, I think, feels like, given the inexperience, especially along the lines, sophomore quarterback, some injuries as well, they are very well positioned for next year.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, and Tank Bigsby, when he's healthy, we've seen flashes of it today. He's going to be an elite running back in the SEC. He's got that capability. I think they need to continue to improve at the wide receiver position. They'll get a little bit better in that regard.
And they have almost all of their key players coming back.
Yep.
It's an interesting play call here. Do you put it in Mon's hands, or you just try to run the football?
Maybe some sort of option.
Yeah. They've been very good running the option so far. Now this formation would not suggest option like they've shown in the game.
If they pick up the first down, it's game over. And Anaya Smith appears to have it. Well, the official from the far sideline is running in. Well, both officials look like they're going to spot him short, so apparently he rolled across the line to make, and it's 4th down. And now a decision. A field goal ices it, but so does a first down.
You've run for 315 yards.
I'm with you.
I'm
going with my offensive line too.
I run the football here.
Plus, you already missed a field goal from about this distance from the right hash mark earlier in the game with an ugly kick.
I think Jimbo's going to let the clock go all the way down, call timeout, and make his final decision. But I think you run the football here.
Because even if you don't make it, Auburn would have to go the length of the field with no timeouts and get a 2-point conversion just to tie you.
Texas A&M. 30-second timeout.
Seth Smalls had a solid season. They haven't called upon a lot. He was 6 for 7 for the year before today, but this one looked like a Todd McShay tee shot.
Yeah, I think you run the football here. Now, the only thing I don't like, I don't love. There's a lot I like about Kellen Mond. I don't
think they're going to try the field goal. Jimbo just fist bumped him there, so it sends him out.
Well, all right. Never mind. I won't even go down that path.
All right.
I mean, this certainly does make sense because it does ice the game.
But so does a first down with 6 inches to get. Your offensive line has mauled them all day long. You also risk a block here. 33-yard attempt. And it is just barely good. Looked like it was heading directly into the right upright into the last minute. Leaned left and got through. And A&M is about to end this 3-game losing streak head-to-head with Auburn.
Wow.
And Auburn is going to lose back-to-back games for the first time since 2018.
It's an impressive performance by A&M. You know, they're coming off a game after a 21-day layoff. They played good defense against LSU, but not good offense. And they came out today. They've been pretty complete on both sides of the ball. Kellen Mond, very solid. Isaiah Spiller, tough running. Offensive line, very impressive. And again, they played defensively without their leading sacker. Michael Clemens did not play in the football game, out with a foot injury. They hope to get him back.
Well, Jimbo talked last night. You know, it's been a team effort all season long. They've had weeks when the offense hasn't been very good, like last week, and the defense was good. They've had weeks when it's been the other way around, and they're very solid in the special teams areas as well. It'll be an important win against a good Auburn team that hadn't lost at home this year. They're going to finish 4-1 here at Jordan-Hare with 1 game left to play for Auburn. They'll go to Mississippi State next week. Probably 2 regular season games left for A&M. And here's how they size up with the top 4 teams. One loss against Alabama. Clemson's one loss, of course, to Notre Dame. They'll perhaps have a chance to avenge that, likely will in the ACC championship game. It'll be interesting, though. Let's say all those teams ahead of A&M win out, then they're not going to get in.
Right. Well, they can't all win out.
They can't all, excuse me. But if what they need is what we showed earlier in the cartoon. They need Notre Dame to beat Clemson again. It would help if Alabama would beat Florida. I mean, they're certainly going to get in ahead of a 2-loss Florida or a 2-loss Clemson. Or if Ohio State gets knocked out, I think you'd have to say A&M would have the stronger resume if they were both 1-loss teams. But they probably need some help, even if they do win out.
Yeah, they're going to need some help for sure. I mean, they're going to be sitting there. You know, the fact that they won't be playing in the SEC championship game certainly works against them. But this was an impressive win, and if they win out, they do everything that they can do, which is take care of their business and then wait and see what else happens.
Bo Nix will certainly battle to the end. He is fun to watch. Eli stove the catch. They get the first down, but down to 43 seconds.
The score doesn't necessarily reflect it, but it just felt like A&M dominated this game from start to finish.
Yeah, they just felt like a stronger football team, more physical, more in control at the line of scrimmage.
They've outgained Auburn 5-11 to 344. They've had more than 16 minutes more time of possession. From that standpoint, they've had control of the game.
Offside. Defense, number 35, contacting the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
In a relatively penalty-free game, that's the 4th against A&M, and Auburn's been penalized just twice. Well officiated game by James Carter and this crew. A&M scheduled to play Ole Miss. The schedule just revamped this week by the SEC. Nix in trouble, can't go down in bounds, and he does. It was Aaron Hansford who pulled him down. Loss on the play, and the clock runs under 30 seconds to go. Of course, Ole Miss has paused its football activities, but they expect to resume them on Wednesday of this coming week, so perhaps they'll still be able to play that game at A&M next Saturday, and then A&M scheduled to finish at Tennessee on the 19th. Now, if Alabama were to lose a couple times and A&M was in the championship game, they'd go to the championship game on the 19th. But that's not likely to happen.
Not likely.
Third down 12. Just a 3-man rush, and they still flush Nix, who flips it forward to Shivers for a very minimal gain.
You know, as we see Bo Nix out on the field here, this last possession, we talked about his dad being a quarterback here and Jimbo Fisher being his coach. The other layer of connection that's interesting to me is that the guy who was Patrick Nix's backup that then became a fine starting quarterback in his own right here, Damian Craig, is a wide receiver coach with Jimbo at Texas A&M. So back here at Jordan Hare as an assistant coach, is a great player here himself.
A lot of familiarity between these two programs on a lot of levels. Nix throws a sinker low and away, and that's going to do it. Intended for Seth Williams. So the Aggies will take over on downs. And another huge win. You know, they needed that kind of signature win to have everybody buy in. They got that against Florida. Yes. And they've played like a very confident football team. Kellen Mond told us last night there's a noticeable difference in the kind of atmosphere around the team since that win. There's a belief they can do something really big.
Well, this is the longest win streak they've had since Jimbo's been there. The recruiting has been good. They're in a great position right now and a solid-looking football team.
Need to keep doing their part, likely with 2 regular season games left, and then hope that they get that help. But it's quite possible that they'll get the help. 31-20 is the final. A&M finishes the game with 510 yards of total offense. Mond 18 out of 23 for 196 and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for one, his 20th rushing touchdown of his career. Joining Johnny Manziel, Joel Hunt, Bucky Richardson as the only A&M quarterbacks who have ever scored 20 rushing touchdowns. Bo Nix 15 for 23 for 144. Some memorable runs. He had his first career 2 rushing touchdown game. Rushed for 49 yards in all. Had about as exhilarating a 5-yard touchdown run as you'd ever see. So when the plays needed to be made, it was A&M who made more of them. And they go to 7-1. Certainly can't imagine them dropping in the standings.
No.
Will at the very worst be at number 5 when the rankings come out Tuesday night on ESPN. In just a moment, we'll hear from Jimbo Fisher. They had exactly 16 minutes of an edge in time of possession. They held the ball for 38 minutes to 22 for Auburn. Here's Allison Williams.
Thank you guys very much. Coach Fisher, Auburn was able to keep this close for much of the game. What enabled your guys to pull away and get this road?
I just think we're growing up as a team and understanding how to play. And the momentum swings don't bother us as much anymore, and we're learning to play the next play, do what you control, and answer and drives. Had a big, it was 17 to when they were ahead, and we got them stopped for a field goal. Then we could go get the drive, then we got another drive, then we got another drive, and got first downs and 8 o'clock. Critical plays in the game. Our guys are growing up and knowing how to play those plays.
What impressed you the most about your offense and what you guys were able to do in the run game?
The consistency, the diversion of runs we had, the consistency and the different things we did, the packages, and how hard our guys run. Our offensive line did a heck of a job, and we blocked well up front.
What will your message be to this team about the focus and mentality they need to close out the season and position themselves for the playoff?
Get ready to play Ole Miss next week. This lasts for 24 hours in the morning. We get ready to play one game at a time.
Thank you, Jimbo.
Thank you.
He deserves a lot of credit. He's a terrific game manager, play caller, puts his players in position to best utilize their skills. Big win for A&M. Very much alive in the college football playoff picture. 31-20, the final score. For the two Todds and Allison, Sean sending you back to the studio. Once again, here's Matt Berry.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
Sean, thank you. Our great